Today, we will be asking the question, what is philosophy? And I really want you to listen up here because apparently people still don't understand what philosophy actually is. No, it's not just thinking deep thoughts or whatever you feel in your soul. It's a systematic way of questioning, reasoning, and I don't know, not just blindly believing nonsense because someone told it to you. Philosophy isn't just for old dudes in togas. It's the reason you're even capable of questioning the garbage society tries to shove down your throat. And yeah, spoiler alert, if you've ever questioned religion, politics, or the meaning of life, guess what? You're already doing philosophy. So today, we're going to rip apart the confusion and actually explain what philosophy is, why it matters, and why, yes, believing things without evidence makes you a walking embarrassment. The word philosophy comes from the Greek philosophia, meaning love of wisdom. But let's be real, most people today couldn't care less about wisdom. They'd rather blindly follow whatever nonsense makes them feel good instead of, thinking critically. Philosophy isn't about opinions or personal truths. It's about asking real questions and demanding logical, evidence based answers. It's the reason we don't live in caves worshiping thunder as the wrath of an angry sky wizard. Here's what philosophy actually does. It forces us to justify our beliefs instead of just regurgitating what our parents or some holy book said. It exposes logical fallacies so you don't end up looking like an idiot in debate. It teaches us how to think, not what to think. Something that, unfortunately, most people never bother to learn. And if you don't like that, too bad. Reality doesn't care about your feelings. Philosophy isn't just one thing. It's a massive field of actually important questions. Unlike the nonsense people waste their time on, like astrology and homeopathy, philosophy tackles things that actually shape civilization. This breaks down into several major topics: metaphysics, what is real, and some major questions of metaphysics are: is the universe infinite? Are we in a simulation? Do we have free will? Or are people just deterministic meat machines following biological programming? And then there's epistemology, which is how do we know what's true? Which has some important questions as well. Can we trust our senses? Or is everything an illusion? Is truth objective? Or is subjective personal truth just a convenient excuse for believing stupid things? Why do some people still think the earth is flat? And then there's ethics, which is what is right and wrong, which has some great questions as well. Are morals objective, or is everything just made up social constructs? Is it wrong to punch someone if they're spewing pseudoscience? Hypothetically, of course. And then there's logic, which is how not to sound like an idiot. Some questions with that are: what makes an argument rational? And how do we spot a bad argument? And here's a hint: if it involves faith or because I feel it's true, it's definitely bad. And then there's aesthetics, which is what is beauty? And some questions with that are: is beauty just preference? Or is there an objective standard? Why do people still think NFTs are art? And then finally, political philosophy. How should society work? And some questions with that are: why is democracy better than theocracy? Why do people still believe in authoritarian nonsense? What's the best way to structure a society where people don't act like clueless sheep? If these questions make you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. It means you've been coasting through life without questioning anything, and it's about time you started. Oftentimes I hear things like, oh, but philosophy is useless. It doesn't get us anywhere. Yeah? Well, tell that to science, law, and democracy, all of which exist because people question things instead of blindly following authority like brain dead drones. So let's cover how philosophy and science are related. The only reason we have modern medicine, technology, and space travel is because philosophers asked, hey, maybe we should think logically and test ideas instead of just making things up. And then we have how philosophy and society are related. So without philosophy, we'd still think kings rule by divine rights. We'd still have slavery, although some people still try to justify it with religion, and we wouldn't have human rights, democracy, or even the idea of justice. And then you might ask how philosophy applies to daily life. Well, what about when you're arguing about politics? You're using philosophy. When you demand evidence in an argument, that's philosophy. When you call out someone's logical fallacy, congratulations, you're officially a philosopher. Look, thinking critically takes effort. I get it. It's way easier to just accept whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. But if you don't want to be another clueless sheep wandering through life, here's what you do: question everything. Yes, even your own beliefs, especially your own beliefs. Demand evidence. If someone says something without proof, assume it's BS until proven otherwise. Learn basic logic. If you don't know what a logical fallacy is, start studying yesterday. The bottom line: philosophy is not optional. It's the difference between being an informed, rational thinker and being just another gullible fool swallowing whatever nonsense gets thrown at you. So, are you ready to actually think for yourself? Or are you happy letting other people do your thinking for you? Drop your best philosophical question in the comments. And keep in mind, if it's dumb, I'm going to roast you.
Get wrecked, nerd. Got fucking dominated, dude.
Absolutely dominated.